warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good afternoon, my English lecturer and my lovely friends. How are you today? I hope that you feel better. I would like to say thank you for coming in my presentations today. It's great to see you all. Okay, before we go to the topic in this change, let me introduce myself and my partner. My name is Novita Sarah with MPM 19040027. And my friends, they are...
Thank you for the chance have given to me. I'm the first speaker and my name is Widya Helistiva Dewi. I will explain about sociolinguistics.
My name is Cintia Bustami, NPM 190008. I'm 19A English Education.
Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Idelni Saputri, NPM 19040014.
Well, in this chance, we would like to present about sociolinguistics and anthropological linguistics. So, let's start study together.
We will discuss about sociolinguistics. There, we will discuss the definition of linguistics, field of linguistics, and the characteristic of linguistics. Definition of sociolinguistics. What is sociolinguistics? Sociolinguistics is a term including the aspect of language applied toward the connection between language and society, and the way we use it in different social situations. It ranges from the study of the wide variety of dialects across a given region, down to the analysis between the way men and women speak to one another. Sociolinguistics often solves the humorous realities of human speech and how a dialect of a given language can often describe the age, sex, and social class of the speaker. It codes the social function of a language. Characteristics of sociolinguistics. Number 1, a branch of linguistics. Number 2, a science concerned with the relationship between language and society. Number 3, it considers that language is a social and cultural phenomenon. Number 4, it studies language in its social context, in real-life situation, empirical investigation. Number 5, it is related to methodology and context of social science. Field of sociolinguistics. Varieties of language. The standard variety used by government media communication and taught in schools or university. Number 1, language and dialect. Number 2, geographical dialect and sociolect. Number 3, stylus. Number 4, register. Number 5, speech levels. Number 6, elaborated code and registrated code. Last one, lingua franca, pigeon, and crow. Language in contact. Language contact. Language come in contact with each other. The most common way the language influence each other is the exchange of words, especially if there's a lexical, a gap in the language exchange from Japan, or if the dominant language is thought to sound more prestigious, e.g. French loans in English in law, crime, church, or fashion and good mirror method.
Okay, next, language maintenance and shift. Language shift happens when the language of the wider society or majority displaces the minority mother tongue language over time in migrant communities or in communities under military occupations. Some factors lead the language shift: economic, social, and political factors, demographic factors, and attitude and values. So, how to maintain a minority language? If families from a minority group live near each other and see each other frequently, Their interaction will help to maintain the language. For immigrant individuals from a minority group, the degree and frequency of contact with the homeland can contribute to language maintenance. Intermediate within the same minority group is helpful to maintain the native language. Then, institutional support from domains such as education, law, and administrations. Intermediate institutional support contact with homeland. Language change. Language change is the phenomenon by which permanent alterations are made in the features and the use of a language over time. All natural language change and language change affect all areas of language use. Types of language change include sound change, lexical change, semantic change, and synthetic change. In many parts of England and Wales, Standard English has lost the pronunciation post-vocal er. Accents with the post-vocal er are called erratic, and these accents are regarded as rural and uneducated. On the other hand, in cities like New York, pronouncing the letter er is regarded as prestigious. The spread of vernacular bomb. The example is like what happened in Malta's Vineyard Island. When the island was invaded by some tourists, the island community's fishermen changed their pronunciation of some word vowel from the past as reaction to the language of the tourists. Like was pronounced, it sounded a bit like, and house was pronounced house, a bit like house. Language change is precipitated by three major factors: age, gender, and social class. These three factors have language variation within them. For instance, you will not use the same language as your grandparents, and you will not use the same language as your grandchildren. Men and women use language differently. Those from wealthy elite background will use language differently from those from working class backgrounds. This is because language is content fluctuations. Language planning. The first selections. Choosing the variety or code to be developed. Second, codifications. Standardizing its structural or linguistic features. Next, elaborations. Extending its functions for use in new domains. And the last, securing its absence. The status of the new variety is important, and so people's attitudes to the variety being developed must be considered.
Anthropological linguistics. Definition. Linguistics is the science of language. It deals with the study of human language. Bauer, 2007-11. According to Henners, anthropology is the science of humanity which studies human being in aspects of society and culture. Thus, linguistic anthropology is the study of how language is used in everyday life and how it is integrated into the various cultures around the world. Row 2006-211. The aim of anthropological linguistic study. The aim of this study is to understand why the people of a culture do a particular thing. Row 2006-211. Based on the Savier-Whorf hypothesis in row 2006-211, they proposed that people of different cultures think and behave differently because the language that they speak require them to do so. In other words, the way individuals view the world around them is affected by the language they use to interpret their world. Anthropological linguistics. The study included speech communities, the performing of language socialization, power in language. Speech communities, Jampers, 1968 to 66, said that this universe is the speech community, any human association characterized by regular and frequent interaction by means of a shared body of verbal signs and set off from similar association by significant differences in language usage. The concept speech community initially focused on language system, relationship, and boundaries. It expanded to include the notion of social representation and norms in the form of attitudes, values, beliefs, and practices. Morgan, 2004-8.
The performing of language can be separated to conversation as a culture, government studies of the other lines of interaction in Duranti, 2004, 171. Based on his own observation, reveals important ways we could look at how people actively collaborate in the everyday presentation and interpretation are measured through conversation learned over multiple prior contexts and experience. Gesture. People routinely gesture in interaction, and we commonly assume their gestures are meaningful. These range from gesture and body language to signs and symbols and use of time structure. Beeman, 2012, 545. Language socialization. Eleanor Och and Bembis Chevelin in Duranti, 2001, 8903. Define language socialization as the process of getting socialization through language and the process of getting socialization to language. Studies should fulfill three criteria. 1. Ethnography in design. 2. Longitudinal in perspective. 3. Demonstrates the acquisition or not of particular linguistic and cultural practice over time and cross context. Power in language. Language plays a crucial role in mediating differences in power between speakers. There are 5 levels of language ideologies. 1. Group or individual interest. 2. Multiplicity of ideologies. 3. Awareness of speaker. 4. Mediating functions of ideologies. 5. Role of language ideology in identity construction.
Okay, so by these materials, we can conclude that basically sociolinguistics deals with language-society relationship, and its study is based on empirical analysis from real-life social context. Sociolinguistics focuses on society on language. Field of sociolinguistic studies consists of varieties of language, language in context, language maintenance and language shift, language change, language planning, and etc. And then linguistic anthropology is examines language through the lenses of anthropological concerns. The concerns include the transmission and reproduction of culture, the relationship between cultural systems and different forms of social organizations, and the role of the material conditions of existence in a people's understanding of the world. So, the relationship between the environments, the culture, and the language of a people is self-reinforcing. Okay,